Hello, I've made some big progress on the new config menu that I've been working on. I spent all day working on it, apart from the fact that my power supply died because it power surged and I spent 4 hours doing that. But look at what we got now. So if I do /config, now there's only the Discord wide pull. I just wanted to focus on Discord wide pull for now, just so I can make sure that works. But you can see everything's kind of the same. I believe this should be basically the same. But we can now go into the menu and we get a good old, again, basically what the current config is. So you'll notice you can actually configure the channel in this config now instead of having to go through /setup, which kind of makes it less confusing because there has been some confusion around that, and it kind of doesn't make sense to have it only be on /setup, especially since you can disable it now. So, that's why that's there. We got all the other things, and now we got a certain new config thing. Threads will not be created. So, as per usual, you could still, look through these, and you could select one of them. So let's take a look at the new thread creation. So we could go into there. It says thread creation is disabled, and says this role will be pinged every time. I actually didn't. I forgot to change that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But I did definitely change the config menu. So the idea with threads is that when you create a thread, you could either just create it and then let it kind of archive itself, or you can close it yourself. You could lock it so that no other messages could be posted there, or you could just straight up delete it. So I wanted to give an option for each one of those. So if you really wanted to, after the end of each poll, you could close it. So I believe, I'm not too familiar with how threads work, but I believe closing it will hide it, but it can be reopened by anyone that wants to reopen it. Locking it will both hide it and make it so no one else can, reopen it, other than mods. And then deleting it will just make it so no one can, basically. But you can see threads will be created, then closed. And then we can actually save our changes now. Boom, saved. And you'll also notice the button is now a back button, because you can technically go into a setting now, say send time, and send time, same exact thing. But you can go back if you don't want to change it. Let me quickly show off the poll channel thing. You could disable polls outright now. So if I press this, boom, Discord wide polls are disabled, and it doesn't show any other config options now because it doesn't make sense to configure something that's not enabled, right? But the config options will be saved, so they won't reset to defaults. So if you go back into this and you're like, okay, actually I wanted to reset dev poll commands, then boom, they're all back. But I just wanted to quickly show that this is somewhat working. There's still a few things that need to be filled around, because the way select menus work is they return an array of values. And right now, I'm just taking the first value from that array because typically, with every single one of these except the result style, we just want the value instead of multiple values, because it will only ever be one value. But the result style is broken at the moment, at least for saving it, because of the fact that you can have multiple result styles, and it's expected to be a string, or expected to be an array. But other than that, everything is actually saving. So if I were to go into message pinning, which is actually a little different, it's actually, because if you remember in the current bot, it's actually free response and Discord wide poll pinning. Now it's just a select menu with one option that just says enable pinning. Just for consistency, I was thinking of making it a button, but I was like, nah, that's gonna make it look weird. So you can enable pinning. I can say go to send time. I could change that to 4 hours, and I could save changes. And now, if we go to Visual Studio in our database, Hold on, let me show it. Database. There it is. Hi, database. And we refresh. Now we'll see Discord poll offset is 4. The Discord poll thread style is close. Pinning is enabled. And that's everything that we changed. So we got everything here. And I will kind of go over the fact that this is all coded here for the most part. The only other... I'll re-explain it again real quick. But I wanted to make config a lot easier to work with and add to. So the current config, which is over here, is hard-coded. Everything is like, oh, page 10, page 11, all that stuff. All this manages it by itself. So the settings are just in order. You got like the result style. I could change what the setting text is, the menu text, the actual select menu itself. And I don't have to make a function that has to listen specifically for the result style to change. I could just get the result style because it just is managed by the baseline config thing, which just does if setting is changed, change the setting. Like, that's literally it. Just change the setting, forehead. And then the builders themselves, these are how basic they are. It's literally just set values. And then this one is a bit more advanced, but again, it's just set values and actually more so set functions as well. But that is the config. That is going to be the baseline. I only got the Discord-wide poll section working for it now. But the idea is that free response and server-wide polls will also have basically all the same options. Maybe minus the result style. Even server-wide polls will have a result style, but free response won't because they only have one style. And they actually don't have results, so this section will actually just be completely omitted. But you could change when they're sent at, and you could do that for every single one of these, and I think it'll be very, very nice and very easy to work with. But those will be listed in the main menu, and I don't know, I really like how it's coming around. So that's how this is working. Cicada.dev/help for the Discord, by the way. Bye.